Welcome to the platform where income is the outcome. As you can see from the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about a very important topic that no one really addresses with the depth and the attention that it needs. Being an entrepreneur is hard. It weighs so heavily on your spirit, it weighs so heavily on your mind. Mental health is at its peak at this particular moment. We are seeing a rise in suicide, we're seeing a rise in depression, we're seeing a rise in people that are feeling unmotivated, feeling like they want to give up. Why is that? I just wanted to come in here and to just quickly talk about the ways that I used to pull myself out of that rut, because I know what it means to be so down and to feel like you're useless and to feel bad and horrible and to have all these thoughts about yourself, all these thoughts about your life. And I actually had to sit down and figure out who I was, who I am, and what I want to leave behind. So key 3 things that we're going to be talking about today is finding out who you are, finding out why you're here, and the legacy that you want to leave behind. Stay tuned. So when you look at the characteristics of an entrepreneur or a business person, it includes stuff like risk taker, creative, you're able to think out of the box, you're able to make something out of nothing. All of these positive attributes and skills that you need to become a successful entrepreneur. But no one really talks about the mindset and the attitude of an entrepreneur. Having the correct attitude is what will determine the success of your business. Each and everything that you touch will become successful and will become something to be proud of because of how you have approached it with your mindset. We don't put a lot of emphasis and attention on how important it is to think the right way and how important it is to channel your thoughts in a way that will be conducive and positive towards your entrepreneurial journey. So I'm going to just talk about the key 3 things that I did to pull myself in that situation. I'm going to start with a backstory so that at least you have a brief understanding of where I come from. So I wasn't born rich. I was born in the township. To all my international and people out of South Africa, those viewers, I was born in a township in South Africa called Soweto. I was born and bred there. My mother was a single parent and we lived with my grandmother in a 4-roomed house. I had to make decisions that will put me into the place that I am today. One, I knew very well that I don't have the personality to work for someone. I saw this later on in my life when, as I was going through jobs, working through in retail, call centers, those entry-level jobs, I could see that it's not where I want to be. I have a passion for writing, I have a passion for business, I have a passion for speaking to people, teaching people, and I want to find out how I can have and earn multiple streams of income to create the life that I realized that I wanted to easily attain. Okay, so that's just a backstory. Life wasn't easy. Went through high school, went through university, dropped out, changed courses plenty of times, but there was always this urge in me saying that there is so much more out there for you. You don't have to live a life that is orthodox. You don't have to live the normal life. What is acceptable for other people is not acceptable for you. And I always knew that I wanted something different out of that. So I had to do 3 things. Like I said, introspect. What exactly do I want to do? Where do my interests lie? What are my strengths? What are my attributes? What am I good at? What topics am I interested in? What topics move me? When I'm on the internet, what are the first things that I would look at when I'm on social media? My kind of following, the pages that I like. Back then on Facebook, we used to like pages. And I had to figure out and quickly learn myself in terms of, and also how the external environment, how it speaks back to me based on the things that I put out of there, So you go on there, you apply for jobs, you get the jobs, but you're not fulfilled. You're not happy. Okay, you walk out of jobs, you're throwing tantrums because you know that there is something weighing heavily in your heart that you need to realize. And another thing that I could easily do was to look for an opportunity in everything. So in everything that happened, I would think about, why don't they do it like this? Or why don't you start a business doing 1, 2, 3? That's why I was able to start as many businesses that I started. And that's why I was able to start that. There is so much income potential in the most menial activities, in the most menial of things. So That was something that I quickly realized about myself, that I'm very observant, that I'm the type of person that can find an opportunity or something positive out of everything. So I sat down and I made a list of those strengths. And then I sat down also and I thought about, if my life had no limitations, if I had no financial struggles, if I had no familial struggles, if I had no personal struggles, if I were to create the life of my dreams without any limitation, what would my life look like? So what I then proceeded to do was to write those down. So I wrote them down and I used to meditate on them and I used to look at them all the time and to think, okay, how best then am I going to achieve these particular things? How best am I going to see these particular things come to life and fruition in my life? That's when I started coming up with a plan that, okay, if I start creating content, it will be a good way for me to push my books, because ultimately I'm a writer, but I also like teaching. So I don't have to go and get a teaching degree to teach. I can, of course, educate myself on the subject matter and then take it from there, and then find a way to distribute my teachings on a large scale. So sitting down with all those ideas that I had and the life that I envisioned for myself, I was able then to drive business ideas and see business opportunities from that. For instance, like I did mention that my dream was to become a writer. Being a writer is so multifaceted, and there are too many dimensions to writing. What kind of books do you want to write? Where do you want to see your books being read? How are you going to reach a larger audience? How are you going to scale? So also thinking about in the long term, I'm not just writing for myself. Of course, I'm writing for people to be able to consume my content, to consume my ideas, and for me to also, third thing, like I said, leave a legacy. So leaving a legacy doesn't necessarily happen when you die. Leaving a legacy is leaving a trail. Okay, so someone having your book in their possession then means that you've left a legacy, because that book can travel far and reach a larger audience than you would physically. Thank God for the internet, because it has allowed us to do that. We are connected in a mighty way because of the internet and social media and all these platforms, and people are always looking to learn something. So I'm just going to end it here by saying that please use those 3 strategies that I named earlier, and please apply them in your life, and also meditate on them daily. A plan, when you draft it, doesn't mean that that is the end of the plan. A plan can always be refined. A plan can always change. There is no one way to living a successful life. Apart from that, study the lives of people that you want to be like. Study the lives of people that have done this before you. If you want to be a musician, look at how other successful musicians are living their lives and learn about their struggles and apply that to your life. I don't believe that there are any limitations on what we can do. I don't believe that there are any strongholds or anything that is pushing us back to not achieve what we need to achieve, and also the life, to create the life that we want for ourselves. I know that I've said a mouthful. This is probably one of the longest videos that I've ever made, just talking to you, because I think it's very important for us to have the correct mindset and the attitude, so that you are not killing yourself while achieving your dream. You're also living your life. You're happy, you're content, you're fulfilled. Okay, so I have linked in the description box below a guide on how you can unleash your passion, on how you can discover your true self, discover who you really are and what you are called to be. So if you just click on the link below, you'll be able to download my free guide. It's called Passion Unleashed, and it talks about how to discover your passion, how to walk in the path that has been designed and destined for your life. So if you know that you are going to be interested in when you're reading it, please don't hesitate to even share it with even all those people in your circle that you know need this. These are the tools and all the lessons that I learned when I was discovering my passion, when I was discovering everything that I wanted to be. And this allowed me to walk into that courage as well. So thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. I hope you're able to download it and get the value that I destined it to be. Thank you so much.